All right, continuing our series where we talk to the coaches, we got the 1A Raceland coach, Coach Salmons. Well, Coach, man, congratulations, Coach. You back again, Coach. Seems like you can almost pencil this game in for y'all, Coach.
Yeah, we've been definitely been blessed getting to go back again, and obviously the last few times we left with the silvers, so leaves a little sour taste in your mouth. We like to trade it in for the gold.
You were in a rock fight last week against Pikeville. Kind of tell us how everything transpired down there, man.
Yeah, I mean it was just a back and forth slugfest. I mean, two teams really trying to line up and run the football and win the line of scrimmage, and really neither team really flinched. Just trying to find run room all night, and we made a couple big plays early and got out to a lead, and kind of played with the lead throughout. And then late in the game, they had the ball. I think two separate occasions there with a chance to drive down and score. Our defense was able to step up and get stops. And they ended up punting to us with about 3 minutes to go. Had three timeouts, and we were able to get a first down and knee out the clock from there. But just a great high school football game with two teams who played really hard and left everything they had on the field.
Now, after you lost to them the first time early in the season, which is way early in the season, I mean, was you pretty much game plan like, hey, I'm not gonna see these cats again in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, so we played them week 3, and that's a series that's been going on for some time. We typically always play those guys every year. And we felt like there was a chance that we could run into each other again. Didn't really, in this day and time in RPI, guys, let's be honest with you, you never know how the thing's going to shake out. And you just never know if it's going to shake out round 3, round 4, round 5. Not at all. You just never know what's going to happen. And, there's no doubt we knew they were definitely one of the better teams on the east side of the state, and overall for that matter. But in round 3, it's just on your side of the state, so didn't really know how early we would see them, but it just kind of worked out. We ended up seeing them in week 4.
Coach, your defense has been pretty consistent all year. Can you expound on him, man? Because the offense is always getting the spotlight and stuff. Can we kind of speak on your defense?
Well, there's no doubt this time of year defense carries you, right? If you're gonna, offense they say wins games and defense wins championships. But our defense has been outstanding. The last 2 weeks I think we've given up 15 points.
15 points.
Yeah, and two of those were by the offense. And even in the second round of the playoffs there, I know it shows we gave up 22 points or something like that, but that was not with our regular defense. Once the game was in the running clock there, we made some mass substitutions. But one thing I think about our defense early on in the season, I didn't feel like we were as good on defense as we'd been in years past. Just to be honest, we had a lot of guys back, not everybody back, and some guys were getting some new roles. But as the season went on, our defensive guys have really made strides and really rallied to the ball. I think that's probably our biggest strength is the number of hats we get to the ball. Early on in the year, we struggled a little bit at times, giving up explosive plays, and that's one thing we really focus on. Try to do a good job of trying to minimize explosives and also trying to get off the field on third down. And the other night I think the Pikeville's third and fourth down. They were like I don't know, something like 3 for 12 or something like that, 4 for 12 maybe. And those things like that is really what correlates to winning.
Now, you led by junior quarterback Jacob Waller, who had over 1,700 yards passing, 26 TDs, only 4 interceptions. And you also got a junior running back in Layden Stiltner, who had 1,382 rushing, 22 touchdowns, averaging 106 yards per game. How important and how impressive is to have 2 juniors that you lean on so heavy?
Yeah, really proud of those 2 guys. First of all, Jake, he won the quarterback job for our football team about halfway through the season last year, about week 3, maybe week 4, week 5, something like that as a sophomore. And, he's just a really, really composed kid, very cerebral, very intelligent, really knows how to manage the team and really make good decisions with the football. Landon is an outstanding athlete. He's explosive. He's a type of running back that, quite honestly, we haven't had a lot of over the years. He's a Saturday afternoon player. And last year, unfortunately, he couldn't stay healthy. And we didn't have him down the stretch run. And he tried to play in the state finals last year. He's a long ways from healthy. And he missed about 8 or 9 weeks last year, and this year he's really dedicated himself taking care of his body, and it really shows. Some of our bigger games is when he's really showed up and had the most production. There's some games, just to be honest with you guys, he doesn't get many carries. It just kind of depends on how the flow of the game goes and how the competitiveness is. But those two guys have been outstanding. We got a big junior class, and those two guys are a big part of it.
Now, Coach, this is this is not your first time at this trip. How do you take on this trip as far as the scheduling and planning and it conflicting with your regular schedule that you're used to?
Yeah, I think that's one thing. That's a really good question. Really tough to navigate. Fortunately for us, or unfortunately, it depends on how you want to look at it. We never got it done, but we've been there a couple of times, so we kind of know the ebbs and flows of how the schedule works and how what things we can do and where we can be and how we can get there. And of course, some of the different stipulations put on you by the KHSAA and stuff like that when it comes to game time. So we feel like we got a good plan in place as far as that goes. And honestly, it's all our kids know the last couple of years being down there. So we'll tweak our schedule a little bit to try to make it, try to change change a little superstition from prior. But we feel like we got a good plan in place. We're about a 2-hour drive from Lexington, so it's not incredibly far. And we'll get in there Thursday evening and get settled in and get ready for the high noon kickoff on Friday.
Yeah, Coach, you said something about the high noon kickoff. How is that different? How does your team navigate that, knowing that it's going to be an early kickoff and you guys normally play 7:30, 8 o'clock, playing at noon on a Friday? How do you navigate that?
Yeah, that's certainly new territory, right? I mean, this day and time, like today, we practiced after school. When we get done with practice, it's pitch black dark. When you play, when we play on Friday, there's not going to be no darkness around. It's going to be, I don't know if I'd say clear blue skies, but it's definitely going to be daylight. So, last week we were fortunate we were out of school all week for Thanksgiving break, and so we practiced during the day to try to get a little acclimation to that, and at the same time, maybe hopeful down the road that we'd be able to use that to our advantage. So that's one thing we were able to do last week. Try to practice in the middle of the day. So our kids are resilient. They know what's at stake. They've been there. I think at one point it was good enough to get there, but our program's been elevated in a sense now that's just not good enough anymore. And our kids know we need to take the next step.
Well said, Coach. Well said.
Coach, we know KCD has a very explosive offense. What is kind of something that you're going to try to do to try to slow those guys down?
Yeah, well, first of all, we got the utmost respect for KCD and what Coach Jones has been able to do there. It's my 12th year being a head coach here at Raceland, and had several years before that as an assistant. I think Coach Jones has been there a little bit longer than I've been here, at least as a head coach. And just a first-class guy, man, the way he runs his program, the way he treats people. And we've played there a couple of times over the past couple of years in the playoffs. And, again, just first-class the way they handle things. But, they went to the triple option last year and a totally different look. And, something you don't see a lot of, a little bit unorthodox, but it all starts with the fullback. He's the Rudolph kid, number 5. He's a leading rusher. He's kind of their workhorse. He's got double the touches as everybody else on the team, and he's a leading rusher. And I think he's really close to having the most touchdowns. And what makes it really tough is, he'll kind of lull you to sleep 3, 5, 6 yards at a time. Then they got a couple wing backs who really can turn on the jets and get in the open field, and everybody starts drawing their attention and their eyes to the fullback. So you got to be really disciplined with your eyes this week. That's probably the biggest key in the game plan, and make sure you don't have any type of mental lapses to give them some explosive plays.
Now, I know one thing, like you saying, Coach, you kind of always been there and been close. What would it mean to get this championship, Coach?
Yeah, we kind of operate with both feet on the ground, stay in the moment type deal. I don't know what it would feel like or what it would change. This is a small community over here in Eastern Kentucky, man. We don't have much over here. We got in this little town of Raceland, Worthington. We got a 4-way stop sign and a railroad runs through town here. And we got us a little school and football team, and the community just kind of rallies around it. But we've been playing football here. This is our 100th season. First season was in 1926. It's our 100th year playing football, and so this town really rallies around the football team. A lot of people care. If enough people care, then you can have great achievements. And that's really what it's about for us. And I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. We won't take it one snap at a time because, again, we've been there. We've been there 4 times prior. And, those things don't get the job done. You got to focus on things that correlate to winning.
Yeah, Coach. Before we let you go, is the city of Raceland gonna be shut down come Friday at noon?
I wouldn't think there'd be many people left in Raceland. There's not many people here to begin with, but they certainly ain't gonna be many people here on Friday afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach. One more thing before you get out. You said it's a small community.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
do you have good contact with the middle school programs that, you know what I'm saying, that's your feeder system? Do you kind of stay in contact with them and see what they're doing and what you're doing to try to correlate everything?
Yeah, yes, sir. It's a little unique here. I'm guessing you guys probably never been over this way before, but so our school district is a campus. In other words, all of our school buildings are on one campus. So our middle school sits about 30 yards away from our high school, if you will, and our elementary is right there as well. And the way it's set up here in Raceland is our football facility is grades 7 through 12. So our middle school guys have a locker room in the same building as our high school guys. The middle school guys are all on the high school staff. The high school staff work with the middle school guys. So one thing that's really elevated our program over the past decade is we've been very, very vertically integrated from youth league all the way through youth league to middle school to high school. And so our high school coaches involvement in our middle school program is very, very in depth, a very, very big part of who we are. And it's really a contributing factor. We feel like to be able to get on this type of stage.
All right,
Very
Coach.
good,
Kind
Coach.
of hinted on it a little bit, but before we get you out of here, what's it going to take for Raceland to get this win Friday, Coach?
Yeah, I tell you, this day and time, everybody flips on the TV and looks about all this complicated things about football and all these RPOs, all these new plays, and so on and so forth. And I'll be real honest, guys. We're really a fundamental team. You got to be able to block, tackle, and take care of the ball, and that's really what wins football games. And so we feel like we got to be able to run the ball. We got to be able to slow their run down. If we can somehow find a way to control the line of scrimmage and value the ball, somehow win the turnover battle on Friday, we'll give ourselves a great chance to be successful in the end.
All right, Coach. Y'all got anything else for Coach?
Nah, Coach Salmons, good luck to you all, man. Friday morning.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir,
Coach.
man. I appreciate you guys, man. I know you guys been doing this for a while, and I'm sure you hopefully got all the other, I guess, what are 12 teams still going. Hopefully, get all them
Yes,
coaches
sir.
on here and really promote our schools, our communities, and our kids.
All right,
Coach, well,
Coach.
good luck to you, man, and hope you can get that ring you've been looking for, Coach.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks, guys.